Hi, I'm Gerald Rogers,
I'm Allison Larson.
and today we're going to be talking about how to heal after a divorce. I don't know about you, but divorce was one of the most painful things I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Oh my gosh, it was my dark night of the soul to have this person that I'd been once so connected to and have that relationship end.
Yeah, for me, it felt like, when my wife, after 16 years, had told me like she didn't want to be married anymore. Like there was this deep gut-wrenching pain, and I felt like for 6 months I was in like this emotional fetal position, hard to engage in life, and during that time, looking back, it was one of the greatest gifts I ever had, because it was an opportunity to really look at things I hadn't been willing to look at before. It was an opportunity for me to look at how I had ultimately created that divorce, and it was a beautiful time for me to heal some inner wounds before I got into another relationship.
Well, I remember thinking, is anybody ever going to want me again? Am I ever going to find anybody? Or do I even want to find somebody? It was so painful to be at the end of this marriage, to be in this relationship, and I was really wondering if I was ever going to be with anybody again.
So we want to share 5 specific things that are going to help you in the process of healing from the divorce and ultimately preparing yourself to find the real love of your life, the next opportunity for you to have your soulmate come into you. But before you jump into a new relationship, it's important that you do the healing required so you don't end up recreating those same patterns again. So for me, the first key in healing from a divorce is really being willing to take the time to be with myself. Up until that time, as I got divorced after being married for 16 years, I didn't know who I was outside of that relationship. I had to find and rediscover who Gerald was. So finding time was so important. In fact, like right now, we're up at this ski resort called Solitude. This is where I moved for the summer after my divorce. And Solitude was the perfect reflection of what I needed. I needed time to be alone. I needed time to think. I needed time to process. I needed time to ask the questions, who am I and what do I want? So make sure, first of all, you take time for yourself and don't rush into jumping into another relationship before you do the healing. Just be present with you and learn how to fall in love with yourself again.
The second tip that I would give is forgiveness. So when a relationship ends, when you're in a divorce, it's really easy to make it somebody's fault. It's like you did something wrong or they did something wrong. And it goes both ways. Some people blame the other person, some people blame themselves, some people blame both. So here's a secret. There's a Hawaiian prayer called Ho'onopono, and it goes like this. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. And I did this prayer over and over again, both for my ex-husband. He wasn't actually present, but I would picture his face in my mind, and I would say this prayer to him. And I would also look in the mirror and say this prayer to myself. And I experienced so much healing and forgiving. There was no more blame. It was just a realization that our soul contract had ended, that our time together was done. And I was able to feel love for him and gratitude for the time that we had together, and love for myself.
Yeah, and going along with this idea of taking accountability for your part in the relationship, as long as you stay in victimhood, as long as you believe that the other person was the reason for your problem, as long as you believe that you're the victim, you'll always remain powerless to heal. So it's critical that you take accountability for your part and your roles, and most importantly, take accountability for your own emotions. So the third key that I would say is focus on building a new relationship with that person. And it's different if you have kids or don't have kids. I had 4 kids with this woman, and she was an amazing mother, and I knew that even though that relationship contract that I had with her as my wife was over, I knew that I would always have a relationship with her. So I began being very intentional in making sure that I kept investing positive things within the relationship, because I knew that I wanted to have a healthy relationship with her, even if it wasn't as husband and wife. Like, I would always have a relationship because she was my kid's mom, and so I always made the commitment to always treat her with respect and to be an advocate for her happiness and to never ever talk bad about her to my kids, and to really focus on investing in that relationship in ways that we could have a healthy co-parenting relationship.
I love that. My fourth tip goes along with Gerald's first tip, which is to take time for yourself. My tip is to actually go on a date with yourself, maybe even a couple of dates. I remember the Christmas after my divorce was final, I didn't have Christmas decorations. He had gotten them in the divorce. I remember being alone one night in this house, and I'd always loved Christmas, and there was no Christmas decorations. These decorations we'd gathered for 20 years, the ornaments with the kids' faces on them, and all the crafts, the memories that would come with unpacking those ornaments, and I was feeling so sad and so depressed, and I just decided that night, no one else was available, that I would take myself on a date. And I took myself to go Christmas shopping. I bought Christmas decorations. I remember I went to Neater's afterwards, which was one of my favorite restaurants. I even bought dinner for the people behind me. I said, hey, I want to pay for the people behind me. And I thought, wow, I'm such an amazing, generous person. I went home and watched a Hallmark movie, which was my favorite. And I just had a great night with myself. I thought, wow, I'm a really cool person to be around. So date yourself. Take yourself on a few dates. Fall in love with yourself. You're amazing.
Yeah. And the fifth and final key, which I'm going to say is probably the most important, is use this time to reinvent you, rediscover you, re-explore who you are and what you want to be. As I look back, divorce was one of the greatest gifts I ever had. It was really painful. And it's something I don't wish upon anyone, but for me, it gave me this opportunity to redefine what I wanted in life and who I wanted to be and what I wanted to create. It was a time for me to really invest into discovering my purpose and living it more fully. It was my opportunity to discover what type of relationship I wanted to create. And in that time of redefining who I was, I discovered parts of me that I had forgotten or that I had never known before. And I emerged on the other side more courageous and powerful and fun and playful and joyful and abundant and creative than I ever imagined being. And it was so beautiful because from that new space, I could then call into my life a partner that could match me at this new level. And my life became so much better than I could have possibly imagined. And during the time that I was going through the divorce, I didn't know if that was possible. I was in so much pain thinking about what I had lost. But when I shifted my focus and discovered how much I had, my life became even more magical than before. So I know it's a journey. And if you've been through divorce, it's not easy. And my heart goes out to you. It really does. But at the same time, when I have friends that tell me that they're going through divorce, there's a mix between wanting to say, I'm so sorry that you have to go through it, and the other part of me says, congratulations! I'm so excited for you, because it's this beautiful time to reclaim your life and redefine. So please take good care of yourself, nurture yourself, remember these 5 tips, and just remember this is your life, so make it legendary. If you enjoyed these tips, if you'd like some more ideas and insights in terms of how to create a legendary life, both in terms of relationships as well as learning how to live your purpose fully, subscribe to this channel, make sure you follow us, and join us on this legendary adventure, and let us continue to serve you in creating your legendary life.
One final thing, I just want to say, welcome home.